Okay, and I want a sub gym. I just wanted to show you, right, what all this craziness is about, right? So here is the root motion test file that I've sent you. When I now click on the file and we open this up, seen here is the animation data, right? So we double click on this, and if we go to the curves here and we look at the root position, you can see that over time the X and the Y position of the root bone, the position of the root bone, is changing over time. And that, I don't know why it's not previewing in the fucking window. Best made plans. Okay, how do I? Come on, come on, Uni. Right again, I'm not pleased about why that thing is not showing this there. But perhaps that's the visualization for the root. But but the important thing is, or perhaps I've not actually exported this properly yet. I must double check this, right? But according to this, from my reading of this, right, 0 minus 25 units, right? So he ends up at a world position of approximately minus 20 on the Y and minus 25 on the X, and his Z doesn't change because in Unity that's up and down, I guess, or whatever. This is probably the rotation's probably changed on this, but you get hopefully you get what I'm saying, right? This curve here shows that the root position, because this is the only one it's showing, right? The root position is changing over time. That's what this curve shows. So this is on the root bone, not on the pelvis anymore. Now I turned off the pelvis bone because I didn't want to export them, but the pelvis bone, we just want ever so slight wiggle on that. These curves should look like this. They should not look like a large gradual change like this to where he ends up far from 0, because 0 0 0, if these were to slope back up to here, then he would be, because his position, right, if they were to slope back up to here on this horizontal line and the curves were to go back up to here, he would be doing a complete circle in world space. He would walk out to there, which is minus 20 on the Y and whatever, 20 on the X or whatever, and then he would go zip back to there, and that would be back to 0 0, and then the curve would go back up to there. But because he ends up, we know he ends up miles away, that's why those curves are there, right? That's good. That there shows that the root bone position has the correct information on it. As far as I'm concerned, that is evidence of good stuff. And the pelvis, again, once I actually adjust this to look like a proper animation, this will have its own thing that will look something like this, where it wiggles about as he wiggles back and forth as he takes steps. And this, you can see, like the spine, there should be no position information on these. And there should be never be any position information on the pelvis either, because it stays relative to its parent, so it doesn't move at all, because its position shown on this graph here is the difference between it and its starting position. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm hoping that makes sense. Like that's what these curves are measuring. They're measuring the difference between its starting position and where it is in the current frame of the animation. And yeah, there you go. Hopefully that makes sense. And this shows that he is moving far from the world center and ending off somewhere on the root bone, which is good. Root is for world movement. Pelvis and spine rotations and that sort of thing are for wiggles and stuff when the character's arms or spine is rotating back and forth here as he's taking steps. That's what all this shows. He's taking steps left, right, so that these extremes here might be a left step, and then he's turning to the left, and then it wiggles back to the right, and it goes down again. That's good on the rotation. Never on the position though, because they don't move from stuff. They shouldn't move. Like, and the pelvis, obviously, the pelvis is another bone in the human body, and that should not be moving away from the root bone, because they should be keeping a relative distance, and the root should be moving and driving the pelvis. They should stay the same, and this is correct. That's what an animation should look like. And you see it stays consistent for the position on all of these other bones, and that's how it should be, because the arm does not separate away from the shoulder. There's no massive move in a gradual curve going down as the arm flies away from the shoulder, because that would look fucking insane, right? So hopefully that explanation makes some sense. Hopefully. I don't know if I'm just confusing even further, but hopefully, I don't know.